You should probably go do it the one time. And
Probably.
Oh, because you did shit wildly out of order, I learned that Titan is apparently supposed to be like the third one.
Yeah.
So it's like level 20-something.
On. Let's see what this person's like. I can go heal and I can make some other point. The reason I'm so hung up on the stat thing, and I get you could say I was being an asshole, but you're literally saying it's okay to be...
Speaking of being an asshole, oh no, this is about to potentially go real bad.
It's just the clef key. Fairy Wind!
You say it's just the clef key, but you know...
Yeah, but Salt Cure does more damage than Steel types.
This fucker led to Swagger and Thunder Wave being nerfed. This is the fucker that led to them lowering the confusion chance.
Get in here. Can't Thunder Wave me, bitch! Confusion maybe, but...
You can still Swagger, but it seems... Oh.
I just saved. Okay. I know it was dumb to swap in a fighting type on fairy damage, but...
Okay, like, you say that, but, like...
Like
it went for fairy damage. The game could have decided to use a, like, status move for whatever reason. But, like, because you used a physical move, and as an example, it's like... Is Prankster Klefki's standard ability?
I'm pretty sure yes.
As like a hypothetical, you could
have been in a scenario...
Because the game saw you use physical damage, it could have realized, oh, I have like priority iron defense.
Or some other shit.
I have to go use the bathroom.
I'll go deal with the one Titan in a minute. I just also want to check the items. Oh, Lord. Okay, it's just... Me, and maybe I can talk more coherently. Look. You can say I'm an asshole. Oh, yeah, I can buy hyper potions. Good. I will, there we go. Since Carson's gone, and I can kind of try and make a more coherent point. So, I get why people can read into me talking about stats and everything. And why people reading into me talking about stats and things could take what I was saying as me being an asshole or whatever. But the thing is, and this is my whole sort of line in the sand here, as I look around the map for the one Titan. When it comes to Pokemon, even in a more casual playthrough, looking at the stats screen is not a bad idea. And it's so crazy to me that I am deemed to be an asshole for daring to mention stats in a Pokemon game, and that you're just going to be cool with people making fun of someone in the chat for talking about more competitive Pokemon and automatically assuming that it's backseating or something. Stony Cliff. False Dragon, yep. I'm cutting around while I'm trying to find the one. Never remember where this is. There it is. Funny, given whatever. Okay. I knew it was around, but like stats in a Pokemon game are super important because it's an RPG. I looked around the map and I finally marked the other Titan and generally kind of made my quick point that, like, the reason I'm kind of hung up on the stats thing is because it's an RPG and even people... The reason it bothers me, and the whole thing with the one streamer, is because people are... Damn it. I'm looking for him.
You don't want to put the Palmy in the front?
Let's try to get an
I say a Palmy in the front, but...
Because...
Which one of this thing's defenses is actually lower?
It's special.
Okay, I guess, see, like... Whose, like, attacking stat is higher?
Well, here's the thing. Steel types take double damage from Salt Cure, so I can literally Salt Cure.
Okay, so you can open with the Garganacl and then change to someone else. Like, using Palmy or the starter, because I don't know which, like... defense stat is lower, but this is kind of funny given that we were just talking about stats. Even hitting the lower defense might not inherently be more damage, because I think low kick, because this fucker is fat, I think low kick might actually be more than like incinerate from the starter.
Okay. Even in a casual playthrough, and it's the point I was...
He just keeps running.
Yeah, I realize that.
He just keeps running until...
I realize that.
Some people don't realize that.
Even in a casual playthrough, looking at stats and adjusting your team around stats and abilities can be useful. But because it was a more casual playthrough, people would rather just automatically assume I'm the bad guy.
I love this derpy motherfucker. Doesn't even seem to have a ground move. Or a steel move. Why did you go for headbutt? Why did you do that?
See?
If it has a headbutt...
Hold on, I'm gonna...
Oh, no, Iron Tail, there it is.
Ah! Thing is, though, that doubles my defense. I know it's super effective in stab, but look at the... See that damage?
Thank you, Salt Cure. And the game goes for a headbutt again. What are you doing?
Sir! Sir! Funny, because of me trying to bitch about stats, where it's like, perfect example. It's a physical attacker, and I'm hitting it with physical damage. And its physical defense is high, but I'm setting up my own physical defense. And, yeah.
Well, and like I said,
I'm just going to do chip.
Because low kick is a weight-based, if you had swapped to the Palmy, I'm pretty sure one or two low kicks would have killed it at that point, because even if it's not bigger than a normal Earthworm, because it's a Titan, because of this thing being fucking long, it's actually, like, in the way
he goes.
Because it's long, this thing is fucking fat.
Yes.
So that's why I said, even if its physical defense is higher...
Let's go kill.
Low kick?
Low kick is weight-based!
Would have probably been around the 120 damage, and that's before the stab, and super effective. That's like 120 base.
Since I'm out here, I just want to go unlock the town. my point is, and I know I've harped on this on and off for the collective part of an hour, and I know it can be hard to listen to, especially because some people might say I'm just being an asshole, but like, the fact that people literally said someone, you know, heckling the chat, the chat mostly being me, is okay, because, dude, it sounds like he was just playing casually and just trying to have fun, and you were just backseating and being a dick. So it's okay to just fucking attack people like a massive, massive asshole? So it's just okay to attack people like a massive fucking asshole.
It's really, kind of, I get where it comes from. It's because on the internet, often in times, you know, someone, like, correcting you and saying that, like, you're playing the
I didn't even say they were playing the game wrong. That's the other funny part. I didn't even
because like an oftentimes, you know, be elitist, like, you know, kind of similar thing. Someone could like, oh, it's like, you know, to play Bayonetta, you need to learn dodge offset, even though you don't. I can barely do it, and I was able to pure platinum the, like, all of normal mode.
There's two-way
yeah, it's just normal, but the point is, again, it's, like, it is a mechanic that was...
To a certain extent, certain mechanics are not as useful as some elitist people might make it out to be. But my whole thing with Pokemon is stats and moves and abilities exist. Okay. Got that. Now we can go back. I just wanted the fly points. Stats exist in Pokemon. But we're in... Back over. Stats exist. But it's just so crazy to me that people are more willing to, you know, let a streamer attack their audience because, God forbid, you mention fucking stats in an RPG when so many of you are the same people that would also get butthurt if someone was playing a Final Fantasy game and trying to use, like, physical attacks on a mage.
Oh, but you gotta equip Vivi with his mace weapons that increase his physical attack. The funny thing about Vivi, in terms of stat increases, isn't that nearly what all of his weapons do? You literally only change weapons so that he will learn higher tier magic. Like, the only
there are a couple of physical beater weapons on the mage characters, but a lot of the physical beater... There he is. There are some physical beater weapons for the mages, but then there are some magic stuff. My whole point is literally playing Pokemon casually and ignoring stats. I'm sorry, but no, the one streamer was just being a douchebag for no reason.
Good. It's a funny thing you say, you know, it's like someone, if they, you know, if you were playing like any other RPG, you, like, wouldn't give your mage, like, physical stuff, but it's like, and I can't tell if this is a sick joke or if it's them actually trying to make physical stats on a mage not completely garbage. In, like, most Final Fantasies, there is this weird trend of, like, physical weapons that increase a mage's attack. Like, again, doesn't Donald in Kingdom Hearts have a set of staffs that
give you physical damage? Yes! And you can do dumb memes, but my point...
And because of that, doesn't Goofy have the, like...
A magic-focused shield, except in the first game, because MP Gift, you actually want him to kind of have a lot of magic, so he can
But it's not for him to use magic.
Magic is
Isn't it so he is basically a second magic meter for you?
Because the MP Gift, he's giving you crap. Pokemon! I care about stats in Pokemon. And even in a more casual playthrough, like, I'm not sitting here trying to completely... That's funny. It tried to set up a...
Oh, yeah, that...
What?
the Toadcool used Grass Knot. Look how much damage Grass Knot did. Yeah, this is a fat fuck. Swap over to Palmy.
And the game tried to set up weather and it fell.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now please don't click a ground move. Please don't click the ground move.
Well, one, it's a steel type.
Yes, but I believe this thing can learn, like, because it's an earthworm, I believe it can learn things as coverage, and...
Yes!
Oh, and Toadcool avoided the attack.
Okay. This is a good example of trying to apply stats and logic. Fat fuck with a ton of defense, but...
Well, we assume the fat fuck, so... Boom!
Yep. Boot. Face. You. And the Soul Cure helped.
Yes.
That's it. I win. Overlevel nonsense. That's a combination of being overleveled and using weight damage.
Okay, if they're, like... If his Pokémon are around the level, even if his Pokémon are 1 or 2 levels lower, that would actually mean that that thing was possibly around level 30, meaning you actually weren't that higher level. You're only, like, 2 levels higher.
You know what I mean. The whole reason I'm kind of hung up on all of this is because it just amuses me that people are collectively willing to mob someone that mentions stats in a Pokemon stream and act like, oh, it's okay for a streamer to basically heckle their fucking audience and make fun of them by reading the, like, chat messages in a mocking voice because, oh, you're clearly ignoring the streamer, yet you're definitely in the wrong. You need to... like, learn to read the room, even though the streamer did not say it was backseating, or that they were inherently having a problem. They were just reading my messages specifically.
Yeah, fitting. That's the salty Herba Mystica. Also something I did not realize initially until the playthrough pointed out. Herba Mystica. HM.
Yes.
Because it gives you the movement abilities.
Yes.
So... it's HMs, because it's clever.
There's...
I was like, I love in...
talk about the game between
my
my
I
rants.
love in, in Ultra Sun and Moon, when you get to the first beach, and someone, they tell you, about, it's like, BP, ... beach points.
Here you go, you jackass.
Even though
take my sandwich.
Even though because of you doing this completely out of order, not gonna lie, we're kind of getting the worst ability last.
Higher jump!
Oh yeah, that's useful when I can glide anywhere.
Time for the dog ending.
At least it's a good dog ending. Something else interesting about a ball stiff that you would never notice unless you use one, because of like this quest and stuff. When you send one of those out, you'll notice they're like standing on like one paw, and because of how sort of like droopy their face is, they kind of look like they're like sad or something. But yeah, it is still a dark type, and I think it is still based off a somewhat aggressive species of dog. When they open their mouths, their fangs are huge.
Huge, yes.
So it goes from looking like a really kind of sad, sort of sickly, like, old man to basically giant fucking guard dog that will bite out half your rib cage.
The dog ending. Get your best, bud. A lot of people get here and are like, wait, is his dog dying? Because of the framing and the dramatic music.
Yeah, and like, people are like, oh no, we're going Marmaduke.
Booyah. The good dog ending.
You can kind of... Like,
yes.
Because it's all... You can kind of see the teeth there.
It is all teeth. Bud!
Well, dog's little teeth, when it opens its mouth, like, these things' mouths are huge.
Yes. The good dog ending. I also have a dog, except my dog is a dragon.
Mm-hmm.
So that happened.
Yes. Another reason, like, besides, you know, basically us having shit like Old Yeller or, like, Marmaduke or whatever, another reason a lot of people are like, oh no, the dog's going to die. There was apparently an episode of it was, I think, the Sun and Moon anime, and this is also...
all of its powers.
So that means it can fight now, right?
She said, except the power to battle.
Anyway, like, one of the other reasons a lot of people thought it's like, is the dog actually going to die, was, there was an episode of, I believe it was of Sun and Moon, and I find it funny that's like Sun and Moon had this episode, because due to like the animation and stuff, and some other things in like some of the early episodes, when like the Sun and Moon anime first premiered, a lot of people said they felt it was like too like kiddie and juvenile, but way super late into its run, it has an episode about basically a Stoutland, and apparently, and this is mostly retained in the English, which I find impressive, that episode actually does end with the Stoutland dying.
Mm-hmm.
They can't save it.
Yeah.
It is an episode about, I think it's the, like, Litten that Ash ends up taking. It was, I believe, an episode about this, like, Litten is stealing stuff. And, like, because it's a Litten and it's a cat, people think it's, like, stealing food and stuff because this Pokémon is just an asshole. But you then learn it has been doing this because it's trying to help a Stoutland. And the dog fucking dies.
Yes.
And people are like, my god, they actually killed it.
That's not a question you want an answer to, bud.
Mm-hmm.
Stupid spoilers. Shenanigans are afoot.
We always make a joke, like, if a new...
So that's done.
If a new game in a... Okay, technically not fully done.
Every time you complete your objectives.
To actually fully finish the path of Legends and... Ooh, damn, Frog. To actually fully finish the path of Legends and shit with him, I believe you would have to go back to the lighthouse at the start of the game.
That's literally what they said. You always... you have to battle people, yes.
But, because we did shit out of order, that fight is like level 40 plus.
Yeah, I know.
So yeah, we are not bad enough dudes for that.
Not at all, cousin.
Like, these britches are not big enough for that.
We'll get there when we get there.
So I guess, gym leaders now?
Gym leaders and star bases.
I have no idea what order the star bases are supposed to
go in. It's time for the question of the day and my overall thoughts on the topic. So anyway, this question is going to focus on that one streamer again, but I'm going to try and wrap up this little saga because I think my ranting is getting a bit excessive. I am at least self-aware enough to acknowledge that, but anyway, now that I basically more or less sort of finished off my rant and made all of my points, how many of you get the point I was trying to make? Because I really do find it ridiculous that so many people playing Pokemon casually refuse to even look at the stat screen. I'm not even asking people to sit there and min-max and EV train their Pokemon on the spot, which you could do if you knew enough about EV training to basically know, oh, this Pokemon gives me attack EVs, so I'm going to basically sit here and fight a bunch of these for a good few minutes to actually boost my own attack stat, and then I will actually play the main game with something I EV trained in attack, even if the IVs are a bit awful. Having some EV training where you basically sit there and max out a stat, that can make a huge difference, but I am getting off topic from the point of my question. To focus back on that, I hope enough people got the point I was trying to make, because stats in Pokemon, even casually, do matter, because Pokemon is an RPG about stats, and yet, because it is technically possible to play Pokemon badly and ignore the stats, I have been yelled at in hundreds of streams where the streamer and or the moderators will basically politely tell me to fuck off, especially if somebody is new to Pokemon and I come in and I mention stats. Normally I get ignored, and that's ridiculous because it is an RPG with stats. These numbers affect things, but casual people and people playing for the first time never really look at the stat screen, even if understanding the stats a little bit better could help you optimize your team a little bit. Pokemon is notoriously bad at actually explaining how the stats work. It took me way too long to figure that out, but I always get yelled at for daring to mention the stats. Let's go down a few of the normal tirades I do. There was that stream where a woman was using a Gyarados with basically only water moves, and she basically only had special attacks. If she had a flying move, I think she had Hurricane, but that's also special, and Gyarados has a really, really bad special attack. So I said, hey, I noticed you're basically running a Gyarados with like only water moves, and the moves it has are all special attacks. And I brought up the move Waterfall is a physical attack, and I said Gyarados does more physical damage than special damage, which is true. So I said, while a move like Hydro Pump might seem good, it's using the low special attack of Gyarados. And she basically said, oh, thanks for the tips, except that's basically backseating. I want to play the game with my choices and my team and my decisions, and just went on this stupid fucking tirade about how my backseating was just ruining her vibes. It's like, all I did was suggest using a move called Waterfall, because Waterfall is a physical move. Gyarados uses physical attack. Waterfall hits way harder than Hydro Pump. You can look at a calculator unless you have a heavy special attack focused Gyarados for memes. Waterfall is always a better option because Gyarados does not have special attack. Well, obviously it has special attack. It's not like it's a 0. It's just the special attack is awful. Then this other stream that was playing Pokemon for the first time, I brought up the stats a little bit and started talking a bit about how the stats work, and that person had a moderator that basically chimed in and said, oh yeah, dude, the information they're giving you is basically only applicable to competitive Pokemon. Don't let this person scare you. These numbers mean nothing. All you need to do is play your way. Pokemon is not actually about numbers. This person clearly plays competitive, but in a casual playthrough, none of the numbers that they're giving you matter. Don't let them scare you. All these scary-looking numbers do not matter. And they would not shut up. Do not matter. Just ignore them. Ignore them, ignore them, ignore them. Play your way. Ah yes, the stats in a video game that has numbers that affect things definitely don't matter. You can just meander around and be a fucking moron and ignore the fact that your Pokemon are using these stats that apparently do not matter and do not exist because that info is competitive only, even though you could very fucking easily optimize a Pokemon a little bit. I mean, God forbid you give Gyarados Waterfall or take a Pokemon that has slightly better special attack and give it special moves. I have actually had a few people appreciate my tips over the years, so it's not all bad. Like a stream I was in a while ago where this person really valued my input, and they were using a Golduck, and I noticed that they had a lot of physical attacks on it, and I looked at the stats and noticed their Golduck had a higher special attack, so I suggested moves like Ice Beam and Surf and Psychic, and then they were like, oh, thank you, and they noticed their Golduck seemed to be doing way more damage, and they were like, oh my god, you were right. Golduck is doing more damage. I wouldn't have thought about this. Thank you for pointing that out. And I was like, oh my god, finally someone that doesn't get butthurt that I dare to mention stats. And because of giving their Golduck good coverage options that used its special attack, they actually did start to play better because Golduck all of a sudden became a very, very hard to deal with Pokemon. And they were, fighting the AI and stuff, but noticed the Golduck was consistently dealing more damage. But I've turned this into a long enough rant. Anyway, you can leave your thoughts, opinions, and answers in the comments, or you can leave them on social media. All of my social media links, as well as my Discord links, are in the video description. Now, as always, I need to be a shill for a minute. If you subscribe to the channel, and if you follow me on social media, that really helps our communities grow. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I hope I will see you all next time. So as always, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, everybody. I hope you'll come back someday. See you later.